when I say, when you look at that flat area on this side of the root ball,
Yep.
I think that was co-dominant stems right out of the ground.
Roots. Yep.
Yep. So, what I'm seeing here is, I think Nick wants the path between that root ball and that birch tree, the one on the right. So I think what we will do is we will start with this piece right here. We'll cut this, move that out of the way. We will then deal with this here. Problem with this is when this comes down, I'm not sure where we're going to cut this first, because we got to get it out of the trail and we got to get it off of this lower tree here, so that A, it's not in the trail, doesn't interfere with this, because like I said, this root ball may stand up. We also have to be very cognizant if we're working in here. In fact, I may cut this initially, this piece right here, just because it's so sharp. If we were not paying attention, one of us could get jabbed with it. In fact, you know what? Do you see any sort of long stick that either I can cut or we can, because if we put something under here, when we cut this, we can just maybe put a loop on it and just drag it over. We want it kind of long. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to cut this piece off. And I'll cut that lower. There's another tree under here. And that's smooth bark. So we'll put that across. And we cut that and that drops. And then just take the sling and probably just drag it right over. Okay? So I'll do that and that with the small saw. I'll probably do this with the small saw. That I'll probably do with the big saw. I haven't figured out where I want to get in here, but and I got to look at the crown down there, okay? Because there's a couple things that are going on with this particular tree. It's against this birch, which is still alive. It's got buds on it.
Yep.
Although it doesn't look like it's terribly
going to
good.
make it. Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's maybe long for the world. So we got to be careful when we cut that. Nothing comes out of the top of that. And because this is maybe not quite over this other log here, but when this cuts, wherever it gets cut, I don't know how much of it's cantilevered, so I don't know if it's going to lift up or drop down. In fact, the more I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to do this, get this piece under here, we'll do that. I'll cut this piece here. That gets me access, and I have an escape route now for that other tree. So I'll cut that maybe just at this side of that birch tree. If this drops, it can't go down anymore because it will still be on top of that. Then we can do this piece, and then we'll have a clear shot to do this, so that if the root ball stands up, we've got a good access. Sound like a good plan?
It's making sense to me.
Okay. I got a yes from Nick. So that is, we are confirmed with the plan.
Okay.
And I said between the root ball and the birch tree, and he said yes. And I think I told you he found his tool. So
that count as two?
No, we're now. Just got to get it off that. Oops, caught my loop. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this side.
Downside of it, yeah.
Well, so this is what I'm debating here. The problem is this material wants to push this way, right?
Yep.
It can't go currently because of this tree. So if I cut this side, it would actually potentially push that towards me. I don't know that it would be an issue because I have some protection, but I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't want to cut it from this side the same way because I don't want to be between this.
Right.
Because it's got
No escape.
It's a terrible escape route. So I think I'm back to now probably cutting this here. I mean, this is off the trail anyway.
Yeah.
So even if I cut this and this drops down, we'll be okay. And then if that stays up, we can either do another chunk here to get off and then do another one past that.
Oh, three on this.
Right. Maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes. But we definitely want to get that past that tree. So I'll do my initial cut here. This should drop down. This should protect me. We'll see whether we want to handle this as one big piece, because if we do cut on the other side, right, and this drops off, we can probably also use a strap and use that tree just to pull it over, because it's only got to land right in there.
Now, do we need to move this one on the ground?
Yes, I was just about to address
I'm
it.
coming over.
There's some things right there maybe you could move also. Should be plenty, because again, if we end up with this round as one piece, we can roll it right in there. That'll be fine. It will sort of define the trail, and then we'll be down to doing this and see what happens with us.
Okay. Small saw or big saw?
I'm going to use a big saw for this.
Okay.
Only because it's up a little higher. It's not over my shoulder, but with the longer bar, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Sure.
All right. So there is, the only thing you got to be aware of is Put the scabbard on that for me.
Sorry,
Put
what?
the scabbard on that.
Yes.
I don't like to leave bars unprotected.
Yep.
Because I'll come along and kick it. So the only thing you have to be aware of is when this comes down, it's going to be on that tree. There's a ton of weight. The root ball is secure. I don't see that happening. Plus there's this other root ball, so it's not like this can come towards us. That would be way more action than I would anticipate. But there could be some movement when this comes down on that.
You've got good escape there.
Yeah, I've got a very good escape route here. That's part of the reason why I'm cutting right here. I can actually go that way, or I can go that way. I don't want to go that way because of the water. I just have to cut a couple things off the ground here also.
Distracted by the bald eagle circling.
Was it?
Lost it now.
Just be careful, that's coming at you.
Yep.
So why don't you zip out of there now? Now again, when this comes off this end, it's just going to go over that,
It's gonna pivot.
so that end may pop up. Wow, that was a good plan. All right. So now we're down to the main, don't worry about that. So now we're down to the main show. and whether this is going to stand up or not. Not sure. The thing is that end is freestanding. It's got nothing sort of impacting. It's not trying to push it in either direction. So this is now just a function of whether where I want to cut it, and that becomes a thing of, do I want to cut it here or do I want to cut it from the other side? And where this matters is because it's on a pivot point on that tree right there. Yes, it could. I would say that if this does anything, most likely this is going to go down and this is probably going to want to go that way. You follow me? If you come look at the tree right here, look right up the tree.
My perspective up there, I had it coming this way.
You know, so if you look right up the tree here, you see how there's this weight here?
Yeah, it's going to roll.
So this may want to go that way. Now, the argument against that would be you've got all this additional weight, which may, but if you also see, if you look at it in this direction, this plane, there's a big camber to it. Now, we don't know if some of that is from the weight of the existing top of the stem, or just has a camber to it, which again is the indication most likely that this wants to roll to that direction. However, this is tricky. This could go, I could make the argument for both directions. Okay? So what I'm thinking though is that if this does come uphill, what I consider uphill, it's going to come up most likely as an arc. So if you think about this arcing, if I'm cutting here, well, it's not even that I have to go so far, and that between those two trees would be fine. It's just that if this is swinging on an arc, it's going to be sort of swinging away from me.
Yeah, if it comes this way, that's going
that way. Yeah. And we'll see, because when I do the cut, I'll see what happens. The other argument would be is instead of doing it there, doing it here, knowing that that cantilever's got more weight first,
and do a second cut.
And then do a second cut if it doesn't stand up, because if it does stand up, then we don't have to worry about it anyway, right?
2 cuts remove some of the ambiguity.
The one cut further away definitely gets rid of some of the ambiguity.
Right, yeah.
And then it's a function of whether we have to do a second.
I was counting that as a second cut, yeah.
All right?
All right.
This is the beauty to me of doing this whole discussion, because the discussion evolves and you go, okay, well, as I'm explaining to you, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute though, if we cut it here, that does whatever it does. I still have this. If this goes up, I'm okay, right? Yeah. And if it stands up, great. And if not, we just got to cut it another piece. You can give me the small saw. Just started to lift. Need me to cut that or it's okay?
It's out of the way. Before it was in the way.